So this video is about how energy changes as organisms keep on feeding on each other. It is based on the video is based on a small subtopic in the topic ecology, which is grade 12 biology. So when an organism feeds on the other, the energy that it acquires from the feeding is lost. Not all of it, but most of it is lost. The energy is lost through three main processes. The first one is respiration. So during respiration, there's energy that is released in form of heat. Another way in which this energy is lost is movement. When an organism is moving, energy has to be used up. So the energy it has acquired from the feeding or from whatever it has eaten is going to be lost through movement. Also, there is another loss that is in undigested material. Let's say there are some, it's not everything that you eat that is digested. For example, when you eat a guava, it's not everything that is going to be digested. The seeds, for example, are difficult to digest. So there's some energy that is contained in the seeds that is not going to be acquired by an organism that has eaten that seed, that fruit. So energy is going to be lost through undigested material. So let's say this is a producer here. So this producer is going to lose energy through some of these processes, maybe all of them or some of them. The energy that is lost is approximately 90%. So whatever energy it has produced, it's going to lose 90% of it and it will remain with 10%. This 10% is the one that the next organism that's going to feed on this producer is going to get. Let's say the goat here feeds on the 10%. So 90% has been lost, 10% is what the goat is going to contain. This goat again, through these processes, is going to lose 90% or so. And 10% is what is going to be available for the next organism. Let's say I've got Mr. Man here who enjoys his supu ya mbuzi here, enjoying this 10%. Again, this Mr. Man, through the movement and digested material, maybe bones here and respiration, 90% is going to be lost. And the energy that is going to be available for the next organism that is going to feed on this Mr. Man, and I hope it's not a witchcraft. So whatever is going to feed on this Mr. Man, let's say a lion, is going to get 10%. So this is how energy changes as it moves from one organism to another, or from one trophic level to another. So 90% is lost, 10% is available, and the organism is going to eat 10% of that. This organism, of this 10%, 90% is going to be lost, and the 10% of this 10% is what is going to be available to the next organism. So that's how it is. Let me give you an illustration that involves numbers for you to have a clear understanding of what I'm trying to explain here. So let's say we have a situation where we have 800 kilojoules produced by the producer. Through the process of photosynthesis, food has been produced whose equivalent or energy equivalent is 800 kilojoules. So how much is the goat going to benefit from this? So only 10% is what the goat is going to get when this 800 kilojoules has been eaten. So 10% of 800 kilojoules is what is going to be transferred, or is what is going to be available to the goat. The 90% is going to be lost. So what's 10% that's going to be available to the goat? So energy transfer to goat is 10% of 800 kilojoules, which gives us 80 kilojoules. So out of the 800 that was initially made, only 80 is what has been eaten by the goat. And how much has been lost? So we can say energy loss is 800 kilojoules, which was initially available, minus 80 kg, which has been eaten, which means the remaining one is 720 kilojoules. So this 720 kilojoules is what has been lost to through the processes that I had mentioned. So what about this man here? How much is he going to benefit? So again, we'll do the same. For the goat, there is 80 kilojoules. So from these 80 kilojoules, 10% is what is going to be available for the man. So 10% of 80 kilojoules is 8 kilojoules. How much has been lost? So we just subtract 8 from 80, and we're going to have 72 kilojoules is what has been lost to the environment. So this man here, out of the 8 kilojoules, has only benefited 8 kilojoules. What about the lion? So the man has 8 kilojoules. So energy that is going to be transferred to the lion is just 10% of 8 kilojoules, which is 0.8 kilojoules. Again, the energy that has been lost when the man was doing the movement, the respiration, and of course when the man was unable to digest some part of the goat, such as the bones, it's 8 kilojoules minus 0.8 kilojoules, which is giving us 7.2 kilojoules. So this is how energy is transferred from the producer up to the higher consumers. So we know the vegans or the vegetarians, they prefer feeding on producers rather than primary consumers. Why? Because instead of feeding on this, which is going to give you 8 kilojoules, if you feed on the producer, you're going to get 800, or I mean 80 kilojoules that the goat had fed on. So instead of this losing part of the energy, it's better you get all of it. So it's beneficial to eat veggies. So this marks the end of this short video. Hope you have learned a thing or two. Otherwise, happy so